guys, it's just loading. I will post the link here. So you guys copy the link and post it in your respective groups. For those people who could make the call, they can obviously go to this link and we can share. You go, copy, paste, message, and boom. Okay, YouTube link is live, everybody. So good afternoon, good morning, good day to everyone who's tuning on to YouTube. My name is Shane D. And yeah, if your friend or family sent you this link to have a quick watch over, please get rid of all your distractions, because what I'm saying is very important. We're discussing basically the banking system and where they're moving to. Okay, so I just want to give you a quick review of what we've done for all those guys who requested a recall. We are moving to the Web3 space. Right now, you guys are the Web2. So Web1 was basically read-only. Read-only basically means the information came up on your computer, but you couldn't do anything. You could not respond, you could not type. It was just enter keys. You could not communicate, right? Web1. We moved into Web2, where all of you are at the moment. Basically, you can communicate, emails, Facebook, Twitter, X, TikTok, all that falls under Web2. Your banking system, right? When you log into your banking account, you got to go to a website. All that is under Web2. But you may not realize that everybody around the world, technology especially, is pivoting to Web3. So now that you're on Web2, my reason for this call is to show you where banks are. We're focusing only on banks on Web2 and how they're moving to Web3. And if you have an idea that they're moving to Web3, you can plan. Am I right? So what is Web3? Web3 is your cryptos, your AI, as well as your autonomous DAOs. Just a DAO, DAO is a decentralized autonomous organizations. All that is on Web3. You need to understand that. So what is Web3? Web3 is you read, you write, and you own your own data. Web2, you don't own anything. Web2 is owned by the few big guys, like your Elons, your Googles, your MetaMask, Facebook. They own your data. What do I mean by that? See, every time you send a message or every time you correspond on Facebook, you're leaving tiny clues for them. Oh, I like this shirt. I like this cap. I like that car. I like that dress. Every time you click like, every time you see a holiday, oh my God, my dream holiday. One day I will go there. Every time you leave those clues, they accumulate those clues. They create an avatar of you and they sell your information. You didn't know that, right? So you are providing the data for these companies to take your information and sell it. How much do you get? Your Gmail right now is worth anything from $5,000 to $180,000 right now, your Gmail. That's how much of content it has in it. So Web2 is read, write, but you own nothing. It's completely centralized, owned by these huge companies. And Web3 is read, write, and you own. So banks are moving from Web2 to Web3. The question is what they're using. They're using something called XRP. I just went over XRP at the moment. I'll do this. Sorry, guys, I do apologize. I know this is repetition. But Web3 right now, one XRP is $1.06. There's over 55 million different cryptos. This is the fourth largest crypto, 66 billion. There only can be 100 billion. And right now, 62 billion in supply. Now that we're all caught up with all your YouTubers, let's continue. Now, here's the thing. Whichever country you guys are tuning in from, you probably use something called fiat currency. Fiat currency is currency that you can hold, physically hold. The word fiat basically means the government's promise. It's like a voucher. It's not backed by anything, but you guys didn't know that, right? But you work hard for it. Now, what's the difference between XRP and your money? Very, very simple. XRP, they only can be 100 billion. There's 32 billion remaining, right, from the 100 billion. Whereas your money can be printed at any given time. Your government prints money all the time. It's called quantitative easing. Go and research. So now if you're working hard and you're saving your money and the government keeps printing, what happens to the value of your money? It goes down. Inflation eats at it because there's too much of it in the marketplace. What happens when you start to accumulate something that is limited? There's very, very few. Do you know what happens? The price goes up. Go check with Bugatti. Go check with Rolls-Royce. Go check with Louis Vuitton. anything that is very, very finite and there's a demand for it, the price goes up. So today's call, we're going to show you how the banks are going to be accumulating XRP. And because it's finite, how you can make money. Sounds good? Good. So I said you banks are moving to XRP. So now it's my time to prove it to you guys. Let's go. Because as I said, everything on this call is not scripted. I'm going directly to factual websites, which anybody can do. Any one of you can research. Let's start with South Africa. Okay. Corporate and investment banking. And this is another thing that bugs me. Why does it have to be corporate and investment banking? Why can't it be the general person who's walking into banks? Why aren't they aware of this? 15th of October 2025, ABSA partners with Ripple. So you may ask me, Shane, what is Ripple? So Ripple is the company and XRP is the token. So you look at Walt Disney is the company, Mickey Mouse is the product. So we got Ripple and we got XRP. So why the banks are partnering with Ripple? The banks are partnering with Ripple because Ripple has a banking license. Clues, guys, I'm giving you clues. I'm giving you nuggets. I need you to pay attention. So if the banks are partnering with Ripple, that means the value of the token is going to go up. And I'm going to explain why. So this is just one bank. Nothing enough to really shake the markets. But let's go deep into this. This is of 2025. List of institutions using and adopting XRP. SBI Holdings, they are Ripple's largest partner. Okay, you can see around 10 billion. Now we go to UAE. Again, UAE, National Bank of Nigeria, Japan Bank, Brackenford Credit. If you guys from USA, this is huge for you guys from USA. Then PNC Financial Services, they have the highest amount of ATMs in the USA. The base of Pennsylvania in the USA uses Ripple blockchain. American Express, nobody on this call can tell me that they haven't heard of American Express. Standard Chartered UK, Standard UK, Australia, guys, Commonwealth Bank of Australia, they were experimenting. I'll show you as of now, they're already in it. South Korea, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Russia, Standard Bank, South Africa. Okay, this is a proof of they're moving. Let's look at governments. 2026 budget speech, February. South African Minister, Godwana announced that he's going to bring the updates to bring cryptocurrency assets under the national capital flow, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just highlight this here so you guys can see this, right? Let's go here, capital flow. And to bring. Now, this is important because I'm going to show you each country what they're doing. How many of you guys were under the impression that governments was against cryptocurrency? Type in me in the chat. How many of you were aware that governments were against cryptocurrency? Even banks were against cryptocurrency. Basically, everybody was against cryptocurrency, right? In the financial world. So the financial world in the Web2 space is called finance. In the Web3 space is called DeFi, decentralized finance, right? Everything in Web3 is decentralized. So all of you guys who's typing me kind of knew that, hey, governments are against us, right? But if you look at this, what are they saying? Hey, we're going to include. So how come now all of a sudden I'm okay with it? And this one irritates me is that governments are now saying, hey, we tried to stop them. We tried to shut them down. Yes, we managed to shut a lot of companies down. That's when all of you lost money, including me, because they managed to shut everything. Because anything goes against the American dollar or a banking system, they're out, right? Who knows? Maybe this YouTube video may just get shut down as well. I'm not sure. But I want you to understand there's a movement happening. And as long as you are diligent and if you're aware of the movement and if you follow the smart money, you can make a lot of money. Thing is that this type of information is not shared with just general public. Why is it under corporate investment banking? What about the layman that walks into ABSA? Hello, sir. Yes, you got 5,000 Rand to put in the banking system, but did you know XRP is only $1 and the price is going to go up because we have partnered with them? No, why do they tell you this? Because if they educate the masses, you buy XRP. When you buy XRP, what happened? Price goes up. So keep you in the dark. So when your friend and family invite you to a call like this, now you're starting to see, hey, that this is really happening. So please invite your friends and family because this is an opportunity for them that they cannot miss. Now that I'm done, let's look at New Zealand, because we got many people from New Zealand here. This is New Zealand and Australia's call, obviously. And we want to give them what's happening in their end of the world when it comes to banks. So let's show you that. So I'm just going to share my screen. And for you, those who are brand new from New Zealand, the Reserve Bank of New Zealand collaborates with Ripple from 2023, guys. 2023. Reserve Bank of New Zealand. Can you see? The future of money. Reserve Bank and Ripple forge a path. Now, just saving this. Now, New Zealand, if 2023, your government and your banking system and your financial world came across, oh, let's move. Why doesn't the citizens know about this? Even in South Africa, even in Australia, whichever country you're tuning from, even in the US, I want you to follow the breadcrumbs. I want you to understand that there's a huge shift that's happening, and they want to keep the public in the dark. That is why these calls are important for you to invite people to awaken them. Remember, 95% of the people of the world work for the 5%. 95% of the monies in the world is shared only with 5% of the people. And your 95% of the community is sleeping. You are the 5% that's awake in your community. We're going to awaken the 95%. And if they still want to sleep, let them sleep. But pick up some of them and say, hey, you've got to be on this call. This is a matter of urgency because this is happening with or without you. So this is New Zealand. What about Australia? Australia, guess what? You guys went one step further. Let me tell you that, right? Let me just put Ripple and just put it Australia, right? Let's just put Australia here. And guys, as you can see, I'm not doing anything fantastic, right? I'm not doing anything that I'm going into a secret site to prove all this to you. No, I'm not. I'm just going to Google and I'm typing Ripple. Ripple to secure Australian financial services license. 11th March 2026. They're getting a financial services license. In South Africa, we call it FSP, Financial Services Provider. 11th March 2026, guys. So my question is, how come there's only 25 people on this call? Because 95% of them are sleeping. So now, let me start with the information. How do you accumulate XRP? That should supposed to be in your head right now. Shane, talk to me, Shane. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, and if you have a mindset where, hey, I need to position myself, because this is how entrepreneurs work, right? If there's a loophole in the system, how do we benefit before the masses come on? That's when you make the most. It's called early adopters. Like those first few guys standing in the queue for their new iPhone, right? Do you think iPhone put billboards saying we make the screenless phones? No, it's a person who had the first iPhone says, look, no buttons, because iPhone was the first phone with no buttons. Oh, no buttons. I need the phone. Oh, then you spoke to somebody else. No, but that's how iPhone is one of the biggest companies in the world today. And that is how Bitcoin became big, is because word of mouth. No banks advertise for Bitcoin, no governments. You know the story. But people met Bitcoin conferences, 50,000, 2,000, 20,000, 30,000 people are now meeting for Bitcoin conferences. Now the governments in the world say, oh my God, we tried to shut these guys down, but they are like cockroaches. They keep coming up, and now we can't do anything but to partner with them, because they can send money across in 1,500 transactions per second, whereas we as banks, we take 3 to 4 business days. So the banks are in the situation where they're in Web 2, but they need to move across to Web 3, and they're using XRP to do it. Banks are moving Web 2 to Web 3. Why, ladies and gentlemen? For those of you on YouTube, ask your nieces and nephews right now who are still in school or 2 or 3 years old, who can skip the ads, who can scroll. You know what I'm talking about. You watch them in awe and say, oh my God, this child is so advanced. You know what I'm talking about. Do you think for a God-given second that when they come into the working world, to the business world, they are going to wait for 2 to 3 business days for monies to go across border? Hello? No, they're going to look for a faster way to send money, which is crypto. And banks realize this, and they know if we don't innovate, we're out of the market. Just like Nokia, just like Blockbuster, just like Kodak did not innovate. AI, ladies and gentlemen, AI. Welcome to our AI bot on Web3. Let's share. Now, as you can see, XRP is in the Web3 space. AI, Web3 space. B for bot, Web3 space. Acronym XRP AI bot, ZAB. How does this work? I'm not here to give you financial advice. I'm just a man on your screen for those of you watching YouTube. I want you to do your own diligence. Well, you could say I've done some due diligence for you right now by going through all the sites, but you do your own due diligence. Now, let's look at these three currencies: Bitcoin, asset token; Ethereum, technology token; XRP, banking token. You need to understand each coin has a specific function. Yes, I love this. I collect asset tokens. Yes, I collect because technology. But banking token is cheap. This is 62,000. This is 1,500. This is only $1. How many of you guys bought Bitcoin at $2 yet? Nobody. XRP launched in 2022, have up 18,000%, used by banks, used to replace the SWIFT banking system. So what's the SWIFT banking system? SWIFT banking system created in 1973, basically over 50 years old, very slow. What is it? It connects 200 countries and over 11,500 financial houses, including banks. Now what's happening is they are slow, but it's being weaponized at the same time. Any country that does not conform to the rules coming out from the West, or whichever country that controls SWIFT, I'm not here to talk politics, please don't ban back out, but the SWIFT payment system is being weaponized. Russia attacks Ukraine. Russia, you are naughty. Boom, sanctions. When you place sanctions on a country, you disable their SWIFT payment system. That means that country cannot communicate to the rest of the world. You cripple them financially. Am I making sense? But that caused a huge revolt. Why? Because $300 billion worth of Russia's bonds and treasuries were frozen in the US. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what are the other countries thinking? You want to know what they're thinking? This is what they're thinking. What if I disagree and they put sanctions on me? How do I bring stuff from overseas, import, export, and communicate to the rest of the world? So yes, we have SWIFT system, which dominated for 50 years, but we need a plan B. You get what I'm saying? Now watch this. If you know what the plan B is, and before all the countries go across, and you're already part of the system, what happens to you? What happens to you, ladies and gentlemen? What do you become? Type it in the chat. If you've been following me, what do you become if you follow the smart money before the masses come into it? Example, Bitcoin. If you bought Bitcoin before the masses came, you became a dollar billionaire. What happens before the whole banking system, so SWIFT, moves to XRP and you know where they're going? What do you become? Type it in the chat. Type in any word that describes what you would become. Type in any word. I want you to let your imagination flow, because let me tell you something. For those of you who are new to this call, and I say it over and over again, your father, your grandfather, your great-grandfather never lived in a time where they could partake in a technology where it was the banks was moving the payment system, and you are the pioneer of it. Good. Those are those words. Let it sink in. Brainwash yourself to become a millionaire. Do that. Brainwash yourself, because right now I'm going to show you how we are going to do that. So let's hop on very, very quickly. So it's there to replace the SWIFT banking system. SWIFT is old, slow, expensive, confusing. I showed you that. XRP, blockchain technology, Web3, fast, 1,500 transactions per second. This takes 2 to 3 business days, guys. That's the difference we're talking about. Innovation. Expensive, here virtually free, 0.001. Transparent, here it's very confusing. Now, what happens if XRP takes over 25% of the SWIFT network? One XRP will be valued at $10,000. $10,000, ladies and gentlemen. Today it's only $1. You understand what you're looking at the moment. You are basically looking at Apple while it's still in the garage and you still got a time to buy its share. You're looking at SpaceX or Elon Musk sitting in his dorm room before Tesla. You are Mark Zuckerberg at this moment, sitting in his dorm room programming. That time it was called, was it Facebook's Books Face? I can't remember what it's called. Do you guys know? Let me share this with you. I'm digressing, guys. This call is going to be a little bit over an hour. I'm digressing. Do you guys remember this, Mark? Do you guys remember how many friends Mark Zuckerberg invited to his room to look at the idea of Facebook? Type it in the chat if you know. Type it in the chat. How many, listen to this now. This is a perfect example of wealth creation, right? How many people did Mark Zuckerberg, his friends now, remember now he's in college in his dorm room. How many friends did he invite and say, I got this brilliant idea from Facebook? How many did he invite and how many showed up? Type in the chat. Let's see if you guys know this. Let's see if you guys know this. Look at this. This is all of you guys now. Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Say, invited 5 friends to his Harvard dorm room 9 years ago to discuss, obviously this is an old article, right? To discuss a business opportunity. Only 2 people showed up on the day and got in. Today, those 2 people are billionaires. Dustin Moskowitz, 6.5, and Eduardo Severin, 3.4 billion. So, Denise, when you tell me, Shay, I sent out this invite and I'm so upset that only 5 people showed up, or Wayne, or Leanne, or whoever's in the call, Doobie on this call, Apostle Ronnie on your call. It's not their time, ladies and gentlemen. It's not their time. So you now are like the Mark Zuckerbergs and you inviting your friends. There's only, and remember I told you 95% of the people will do nothing, 5%. Go and do your math on that. There only 2 people showed up. So now, how many people do you think needs to get this message of what's happening to XRP? That is why you need to invite your friends and families to this call, because they're going to be those 2 friends that's going to become millionaires. So we say right now, if 25% of the network is replaced by XRP, one will be $10,000. But we say, what happens if it just goes to $10? Leave $10,000. That's going to be the next 5 years, 10 years. That's your retirement, right? For your fancy sports cars and your holiday homes all over the world. But let's look at becoming just a millionaire for now, not a multi-millionaire. If it goes to $10, and right now, if you can accumulate 100,000 XRP, that will make you a dollar millionaire, right? But how do we accumulate this? The question is how? Big question mark. Shane, why I'm on this call? Yes, you showed me XRP. You showed me who's buying. I know I have a fear of loss. Talk to me. How do I get to this point? And that is when our Xrp bot comes into play. Okay. So this is our bot. And this is how it works, ladies and gentlemen. It does something called arbitrage trading. Now, before your minds shut off by hearing the word trading, let me reassure you, this is hands-free. You do you, whatever you're doing currently, whether you're taking care of the kids, whether you're a housewife, whether you're working, whether you love your boss, whether you're a business owner. Anybody can partake of this, because you don't need to be sitting in front of your mobile phone 24 hours a day looking at charts. Why? Because we have AI to do that for us. So how does it work? Arbitrage trading is unlike the trading that you are accustomed to or learned about, where you're going to sit and look at the charts, put a buy, wait for the market to go up, etc. It's none of that. Arbitrage is used by huge corporates. It's used by financial houses. Why? Because you need a lot of money to make a little profit. Let me explain. So you saw there's 961 exchanges. We work with the 4 top exchanges: Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, and Bitstamp. Those are 4 top exchanges. They all sell what? Crypto, which means they sell XRP, right? Follow what I'm saying. Follow my words. They all sell XRP, but at any given time, XRP is at a different value on those exchanges. So what our bot does, our bot scans those exchanges, look at where it's cheaper, buys from there, and sells to the exchanges higher. That's all the bot does. Like 4,500, 5,000 transactions in 2 minutes. That's what it does. That's how fast this bot does. So what's going to happen is it scans, buys from one, sells to the other one, and pays you. That's what the bot does. So arbitrage is only done by huge corporates. But now, with all of us coming together, we raise enough funds, 60 billion so far, to trade for us. So that's how we get paid. So Scans multiple exchanges, detect the price variation, rapid automation, speed prosecution, speed and precision, sorry, buy low, sell high. Dr. Jack Van Miller, and this is the picture of him and I, as well as the rest of the guys in Thailand. I was there in June. This is Rehan Gohar. These three are brothers, multi-billionaires, own skyscrapers. They're the guys who created the compensation plan. This is Dr. Jack. He is the guy who created the bot, PhD in aeronautical engineering. He actually programs drones for the military. They medical. They do so much of things. This guy is so brilliant. This is Shweta. She's originally from the UK, studied in Westminster. She's the operation manager, or was the operation manager for Barclays Bank as well as Citibank, but she has joined our company. So these three guys are brothers. They own skyscrapers in Dubai, very, very wealthy. And these two guys, Rehan and Dr. Jack, do. Can you see the watches they wearing? They collect watches as hobby, and that's how they met. So he had a brilliant product. He said, hey, let me create a compensation plan. And boom, that is how all of you are on this call today. Because if it wasn't for those three brothers, Dr. Jack, this was created in 2019. This only goes out to big companies that can afford the arbitrage. But now, because there's so many of us put together, we all can afford it together. You see what I'm saying? So 2019 has been a long time. The bot has been proven. It's not like we're using US guinea pigs to see, oh, let's see if this works. It's already been working. It's just that November last year, they attached the network marketing model to it, where they compensate us. And that is why you guys are on this call, right? So let's go deeper. Now, your bot gives you up to 1% a day. Up to, remember, it's up to, because nothing can be given a set amount because we can't predict the markets. Now, some days we do 0.3, some days 0.5, some days we do up to 1%, or even more some days. It trades for you 6 days a week. That's one cycle, 6 days a week. Now, how much does it cost? This is where some of you need to relax, because you're probably stressing about this technology. Normally it's expensive. The cost right now, the activation fee is 1 XRP. So if in South Africa right now, 1 XRP is around 18 Rand. If you're in New Zealand, you can type it in the chat. If you're in Australia, if you're in the US, it's around $1. Now, before I continue, anybody on this chat cannot afford $1? Okay, let me reiterate this. How many of you can afford $1 for the fee? Please type in Y in the chat. And it's okay if you can't afford the dollar, because I'm not here to prejudge you. Everybody goes through difficult times. Some multi-millionaires don't have liquid cash at the moment. You understand what I'm saying? It's not something to be embarrassed about, but it's saying, hey, I'm here now, but how can I change? You know, nothing changes if nothing changes. So be honest and say, look, I don't have $1 right now. I need to get it, because that's only the fee. Okay. Now let's go back. So most of you said, yes, very, very affordable. Okay. So now this is your own XRP. Okay. This is your own XRP. How many XRP can you afford? Because we're going to throw this into the arbitrage system. So the more XRP you're going to throw in, the more it's going to put out. So let's just say if you're going through a very, very difficult time right now, you're looking at your finances and you say, Shane, I understand where I need to be and I need to lock my spot in, but 11 XRP is all I can afford. Okay. So if you're in South Africa right now, you're looking at plus minus with your fees, etc., 350 Rand once off. If you're from New Zealand, please type in what it would be. If you're from Australia, please type in the chat so I can just make your guys aware how much 11 XRP. So Australian dollars, we're looking at $70. Guys, if you're from Australia here, can you afford $70? New Zealand, how much is it in New Zealand dollars? Please type in the chat. So if you guys from Australia and New Zealand on the call, when I come to this part, please have it already in the chat so I can, just, okay, let's just put it under $20. Let's say under $20, right? If you are from anywhere in the world. Okay. Okay, 20 New Zealand dollars. I was right about that. So anybody on this chat right now, at this moment, if you open up your bank account, has anything less than this, we need to talk, because obviously what you're doing right now is not working for you. If you don't have 350, 17 Australian, 20 New Zealand, that means what you've been doing for the last 5 years is not working for you. Am I right in saying that? But if you do have that, welcome to Xrp. Type I'm in, because there's no excuse for you not to now, right? Type in I'm in, because you've got the money, you're going to get the bot. You're not bonding your house, you're not selling your car. You guys spend $20, $70, 350 Rand on frivolous spendings that you'll never get a shot to earn back. You understand where you are right now. And this is the biggest mistake people make, is that they take this to be a 350 or a 17 or a $20 business. The reason you're only getting this bot at this price is because XRP price is low. Please don't confuse that. If XRP goes up to $100, this bot now becomes $1,100, which some of you or all your friends and family will find it very, very difficult to say, hey, I need this bot. Am I making sense? This is why, ladies and gentlemen, that the banks are showing this to the corporate and investment bankers. Let me reiterate, right? This is the reason why they do not waste their time on average people and they go directly to corporate and investment banking. It's sad, but it's true. They don't care about you saying, oh, what if this works? Oh, this, then yet you see the proof, but your mind is still, oh, you know which voice I'm talking about? Yeah, that voice that you have right now for the new guys. That's why they do not show this to people. You know, the saying is you cannot share big ideas with small-minded people. You cannot share big ideas with small-minded people. So that is why they go to corporate investment banking. That is why Dr. Jack did not want to take this network marketing route. He goes directly to huge clients. You see why? Because you will now say, Shay, 10XRP, let me start with 10XRP. But yet you can afford, because tomorrow you go buy a shoe for $1,000. You go put tires in your car, sound system in your vehicles for thousands of dollars, but you'll say, oh, let me start with 10XRP. Financial literacy. The rich put monies where money works for them. The average and the poor put money just to look at to say, my lifestyle. So be careful for that. So ladies and gentlemen, you can come in with any amount here. But if you're going through a tough time, I'll understand 10XRP. But if you can afford it, you'll be silly. You'll be silly enough not to take a plan that's going to give you a good return. So what is a good return, ladies and gentlemen? Pay attention to the screen. Whatever XRP you take here, the bot is going to give you a 300% return. So that means if you come in with 100 XRP, the bot is going to give you 300 in return. Easy to understand, right? Just multiply by 3. You come in with 500, bot going to give you 1,500 in return. That's hands-free. So your bot gives you up to 1% a day. Let's recap, up to 1% a day. Your blockchain, your AI bot is programmed to give you 300% return. So without you doing anything, once it reaches 30 XRP with whatever you took, right? Once it reaches 300%, your bot would come to an end. That means it'll cap out, because that's how the blockchain has been programmed. That's how the AI has been programmed, to cap out once it reaches that amount. Everybody understands that. Everybody good with that. So the minimum you'll make is 300%. However, how many of you like to make 400%? Let's just say, just like the Web3 world, where everything is done word of mouth, exactly like how Mark Zuckerberg did his thing with Facebook, called 5 friends, and only 2 showed up, told his 2 friends. You are going to show 1 friend, okay? You're going to be a Mark Zuckerberg. You're going to invite 10 friends, but you're just going to show this to 1 friend. If you share this with 1 friend, you now get 400%. 400%. So now your bot gives you, if you come in 10 XRP, gives you 40 XRP. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what stopped you from taking that 40 XRP, taking another bot and making 160 XRP? 4 times. That 160 now becomes times 4. Guys, do the math. I got an in with check. I was very, very bad in maths. I only can count Bitcoin and XRP. You guys get the picture, guys? So you can take multiple bots. So if you are in right now, type in I'm in, because you make a list of at least 5 people. Be a Mark Zuckerberg. Put your money where your mouth is. You want to make $1 million? Let's go. You are Mark Zuckerberg. Make a list of your 5 friends. Invite them to this call. Don't tell me, oh, Shane, oh, this excuse. No. They need to know what's happening in their country. They need to know where XRP is going. They need to know where to position themselves. You don't be selfish. You do not be selfish. Do not prejudge anybody. Who the hell made you, God, to prejudge somebody to say them that they don't want to change their lives? So you don't be selfish with the information. Let them come on, see the information and say, no, thanks. That's good. Because tomorrow when they see you, you can tell them, look, remember I told you, like now when I tell people, hey, well, I told you about Bitcoin. I bought, you want to see what I bought, guys? Let me show you. Okay, let me show you my camera. Let me show you my camera. Here's my Mustang parked there. First person in Africa to buy a Mustang with blockchain. There's my BMW parked there. There's my Fortuner. I go 4x4 off-roading. I know I'm a bit of a crazy guy. You guys in Australia can detest to that. I go forward. My beach house. I got a private beach. All that bought with Bitcoin. Why? I didn't listen to the naysayers. You know, my friends who I invited, and I mean 9,000 families, millionaires, they the one who listened and made $1 million. Do you think I'm worried about this? Do you think Mark Zuckerberg is worried about his other 3 friends? So your job is to invite 5 friends. Be a Mark Zuckerberg. Next call, 5 friends. That is, you're going to make $1 million, invite 5 friends. One of them is going to say, yes, that's how you make 400%. You guys good? I got 5 minutes remaining. I need to switch modes here. Oh my God, I did this again. I left my wallet. Can I bring my wallet quickly? I need to share how you guys get paid. We can talk about $1 million, but if I can't show you how you're going to spend it, is a problem, right? Give me 5 seconds. I'll be back with my wallet. Okay, let's go. So I told you to be a Mark Zuckerberg, right? How do you get paid, ladies and gentlemen? You're 400%. You happy you made 400%? You say, Michelle, I got a medical emergency. My geyser burst, whatever the problem is, I need my 40 XRP or I need my 1,000 XRP. Flame the chat, guys. Flame the chat. Flame the chat. I want to see reactions. Flame it up. I need you to flame this up because some of you are seeing this, but you're not realizing what this is. You are looking at this and you're not understanding what this means. You are looking at this and it's not comprehending. It's your brain is not syncing this thing. You need to flame the chat up. Go to your reaction bar. I want to see flames. I want to see hearts. I want to see everybody right now flaming the chat and flaming the reaction bar. I want to see hearts. I want to see flames. I want to see confidence. I want to see claps. Because some of you who are not excited about this, you don't know what this means. Financial literacy. What does this mean? It's not just a MasterCard. Yes, we do banking. We see MasterCard. But what does it take for MasterCard to say, I want to partner with Zab? What does it take to say that I want to put my reputation at risk and partner with Zab? What does it say as a billion-dollar company to say, I want to partner with Zab? What due diligence did MasterCard do to say, I want to partner with Zab? What auditing did they do on our arbitrage to say, we want to partner with Zab? What due diligence did they do that you are thinking about? Oh, maybe I should research this. What research are you going to do? Go on to Google. Oh, is Zab real? And then you find a lot of hogwash, a whole lot of nonsense because that's Web 2 and they don't like what Web 3 is doing. Can you see why I say come earlier in the call so I can explain? Whatever you see on Web 2, whatever YouTube you say that says that this does not exist, MasterCard finish, have a look at it. Your friend who invited you, finish, have a look at it. We already seen that. We already read it. And those people who are writing those articles do not exist because they are written by AI. Hello, have a nice day. So don't embarrass yourself to say, I found this on the internet. I found that on the internet because you'll be a laughing stock. How about this? How about this? This is a challenge. Go and get in touch with that person. Have a conversation with that person. Prove it. Bring that person onto the call and say, I wrote the article and this is why I said X, Y, and Z. You see? Because you won't be able to. So don't embarrass yourself. MasterCard did the work for you. I did the work for you. I'm in the space for 14 and a half years. I'm in blockchain for over 5 years. I'm in AI for the last 2 years. We look at AI agents and everything. Let me tell you something. That is why when I do research, let me go spend some time with the owners. Hello? Let me spend some time. Why read about them when I can go ask them? Can this arbitrage work without a single cent coming in? Yeah, it can. It can. And I'm going to show you that. Who wants to see the arbitrage? Who wants to see the bots working in real time right now? I'm doing this because I played this video just now. It's already queued up. I've got 2 minutes. Let's go. Let me cue this for you guys. This is when I launched South Africa. And I want you to look at time. Don't say pay attention to detail, right? If you're going to make money in this world, you pay attention to detail. So before I do that, let me talk about I didn't even talk about the business side. Okay, so some of you on this call says, Shane, what if I have more than one friend? What do I get? Okay, this is what you get, right? So if you are your Federal Reserve, you are like your banking system now, right? So you got your MasterCard and everything, and you want to take this out. So how do you, this is the analogy that I use. So you are the Federal Reserve, you got all your branches, your banks, different states. Then you have your satellite branches everywhere. And then below that, you have all your ATMs, thousands of ATMs in your country. So I want you to have that mindset when I'm explaining this. You are the Federal Reserve. The first person that you bring in is your first branch. Okay, first branch. You get 8% whichever bot they take. 8% once off. So they decide to take another bot because you can have multiple bots, right? You can have an unlimited amount of bots because it's AI blockchain. They take a second bot, you make 8%. Third bot, 8%. So I signed my wife on. I made 8%. She took another bot, I make another 8%, another 8%, another 8%, another 8%, another 8%. Because you can't stop them from getting to 1,000 XRP or 10,000 or 100,000 XRP. Am I making sense? Can you stop somebody from accumulating XRP or getting new bots? You can't. So my daughter signed up under my wife. My wife made 8% every time. I made 2%. That was good for me because my daughter loves crypto, right? So she's all her friends, etc., doing her own thing. That's good. So ladies and gentlemen, my wife is level 1, my daughter is level 2. Her friends are level 3. You get paid up to 20 levels deep. So this is how the commission structure works. I'm not here to do the training. I'm here to cast vision. When we do a training, you can come on and ask me all the nitty-gritty questions, right? So all you got to do is to activate your bot on a Tuesday. Remember, you get paid 6 days a week. Can you click on a bot, click submit, and click yes, 3 buttons? If you have 350 or 17 or 20 New Zealand dollars, and you can click on a bot on a Tuesday because that's where it recalibrates. If you can see at the bottom here, the bot pauses on a Tuesday for recalibration. So you need to activate it again. So you click on this bot, click submit, and then click yes. And the bot changes color. Okay. So if you can do that, you are good to go. Let me just clear this from the screen and move on to the commissions. Now, 8% is your direct referral. 2%, level 3 to 6, 1%, level 7 to 20, 0.5%. Okay. You're going to collect all of these monies from here. Because remember something, each one of your friends have 5 friends. Each one of your friends have 5 friends. And they want to get to 400%, they're going to show it to at least 1, right? But we say show it to 5 friends. Now what happens is those 5 friends accumulate and you get paid 20 levels. Like just like our Facebook, keep adding friends. Same thing here, you're going to add your friends to your banking system. So your level 1 is your branches. Then your next friends are going to open up the satellite branches for you. Then their friends are going to open up all the ATMs and ATMs. That's where you're level 7, level 8. This is like 500,000 people. We're talking around here, 500,000 people. But we also pay you for this team bonuses. This is very, very cool. Please pay attention. I'm going to be very, very quick. Now, here, you need to be at a $500 package, 500 XRP, sorry. How you get that? I just showed you from your levels. So if your whole team volume, somebody can come in with 100 XRP, 10 people can come in with 100 XRP, you'll be ambassador 1. Imagine that, just 10 people come in with 100 XRP, which is like 2 grand, 2,000 rand, you become ambassador 1. That means you earn 6%. That person is going to renew, right? So what will happen is this goes to 0 because you already claimed the volume. But when they renew, it comes to 1,000 again. That means you can claim 6% again and again and again and again. Or you can say, hey, Shane, hold on, man. I don't want to claim this right now. I want it to go to 2,500 and then claim 7%. So you got 90 days to do that. 90 days, which is 3 months. Forgive my writing. So let me show you what I've done. It took me 77 days to reach 48 XRP. I hit this rank of Ruby. I basically, sorry, 45,000. I claimed 4,500 XRP. You see 10%. I made 10%. But this volume went to zero, but I couldn't stop it from growing. This took me 77 days. Guess what? I hit Sapphire. Was around 85,000 here. I mean 8,500 XRP. This took me 55 days. Why it took me 55 days, ladies and gentlemen? Why it took me a shorter time? Is because now I have a team of bankers, a team of ATMs that's working, that's opening everywhere around the world. I can't stop it. So I claimed again, 85. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I hit Sapphire again. And this time it took me around 32 days. And I'm here at the moment to claim another 7,000 XRP. So as your branches grow, ATMs grow all around the world, your volume keeps on increasing and you'll be able to claim like this every month. So if you're in South Africa, I'm averaging around 130,000 Rand a month. From 10 XRP, from 350 Rand, I'm making 150,000 Rand a month. When I got started, I started building this from January till August, 8 months. So don't you tell me that you cannot make $1 million Rand or $1 million. We're only getting started with this, ladies and gentlemen. So let me, 11:04, sorry guys, I'm over time. Let me just show you the arbitrage working. I want you guys to flame the chat now because you're about to see the arbitrage working in real time. Not real time, this was recorded, but it was shown in real time. Check this out.
Launch, Julia called me late in the night. Real-time US dollar price already going above 150. We are waiting. Once it hits 150 and above, then it won't go back. So that's what we're going to see very shortly, going back up to 150 and above, 180 very shortly. XRP and other cryptocurrency transactions. And the financial statistics, almost 2 billion US dollar in trading volume just in the last moments. So again, it's not just us pushing this. This is really the world really believing in this system. Then here we have the live trades. We're very proud to say that we have over $41 million in trading accounts. It's not in dollars. It's of course in XRP, but it's expressed in dollars. We work with Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, and Bitstamp. And as you can see, there are small price differences between these. Manually, you could never do this. The price differences are too small and they dissipate too fast. But with artificial intelligence and machine learning and high-speed internet and good servers, and also quantum computing from IBM for optimization, we can execute trades very fast and create revenue and create profits. So you see here the trades coming in. Buys, for example, at Bitstamp, sells at Coinbase for a little bit higher. You can see the amounts that's being bought and sold, the profits that are being made. Again, pretty risk-free because normally it's only for major institutional players arbitrage. We do it with XRP. We are totally new in this. We are really pioneers in this field. And it just doesn't execute a trade if it can't see a profit. So now I'm going really inside the bot, which doesn't look very pretty, but it's making good revenues. So here in the top, you can see how many attempts it is trying has made since I opened it. So I just click here on a trade. It's already hundreds. Now it will go to xrpscan.com. As you can see, 12 seconds ago, as it appeared in the system, the hashtag is there, 38 XRP successful trade. And let me just show another one. So it's already done over 1,000 while I was speaking. Also, what a lot of people that were with us from the beginning can see is that in the beginning, the bot had a lot of failed attempts, and that has gone, definitely the bot is performing better. For example, here, almost 200 XRP. Also, 8 seconds ago, here's the hashtag for if people want to check. Again, verified externally. Here you see more coming. Again, here one more 16 XRP. 13 seconds ago, and I think the timestamp is really shows that this just happened, and it's just from our system. So let me catch another couple. If you see like a zero, just means that it couldn't see that the profit basically disappeared, so it couldn't execute a profitable trade. So let me just catch another. It already tried almost 3,000 trades. Here we have 2,000 XRP. So yeah, it's nice.
So guys, I just want you guys to focus on this, right? Pay attention to what I'm about to highlight, right? Some of you are seeing this and says, Shane, what does transaction TX hash mean? I mean, that means for those of you new to the crypto space, that means nothing. That is like, what does it mean? Oh, the hash is here. And if you're not in the space, you don't know what that means. So I want to break it down in banking terms so you guys can understand, right? Let's just say you're sending money to China. It's taking 2 to 3 business days to get there. Can you walk into your bank and speak to your bank manager and say, sorry, can you log into the banking server to show me exactly where the transaction is at the moment to see if it's really going across? Can you guys do that? Is that even possible in the banking space? Why? It's centralized. You cannot do that. What he's showing you here is that you can log on to the blockchain and you can verify this transaction where it is. Now, let me share this again because I need you to see this. So you can actually look at this and say, okay, when you can take this, copy this here, put it into XRP scan. This is the blockchain, and you can see exactly where the transaction is, which wallet it came from, what the destination wallet, how much was sent. You can even print your receipt. Now watch this here. What's the time here? And this is my Zoom time. Can you see that the blockchain and this here is the exact same time on my Zoom? Which means this is factual information being showed at the same time. It's not a recording. Everything is verifiable. Everything is transparent. Remember on my slide, it showed you XRP transparent. This is the transparency you see. So some of you are looking at this here, but you don't understand the power of what you just saw. Am I making sense, guys? This type of education is not given to you. And for those people who missed this call, I don't do this type of stuff. First time I'm showing you guys with the timelines, right? That is what I'm saying. My calls are different every time. Every time you log on, you learn something new. It all depends on where my mind is directed at that time. Nothing on this call is scripted. I always say that. Every call is different, it's unique in its own way. So you guys can share this, for those who want it in depth, you guys can share this YouTube video. Fortunately, I recorded it. Thank you to Mr. Wayne. I recorded it so you guys can always reflect that. So let's go, guys. If you type it, I'm in on the chat. Now, this is how we work in this business. There is no convincing. There is no forcing. Remember Mark Zuckerberg? He did not force his 2 friends. He did not convince his 2 friends. Those 3 that chose not to be there, he said, to hell with you, go and spend your time in the cafeteria. I'll work with only 2 people. Likewise, the person who invited you to the call gives a damn whether you say no. Why? Because they already have the bot. They're already going to make XRP. So it's your responsibility to reach out to them and tell them no. And I want you to be honest. I want you to be an integral human being. I want you to do the right thing. You reach out and tell them, no, it's not for me. But however it is for you, you're going to reach out and say, look, I want to get started now while XRP price is low. Because once it goes up, this product it's basically going to be not affordable for a lot of people. A lot of your friends and family are not going to be able to afford this product in the next 6 to 12 months. I want to be very, very frank about that. So you are going to get in touch with the person who invited you, tell them I'm in, how to get started. They'll send you a link, and the rest is Bob's, your uncle, will walk through the whole process with you. We'll show you how to get your XRP and all of that. It's like really, that's all child's play. So, guys, thank you so much for listening to me. Do you guys have any questions before I leave? I don't want to keep you much longer. I know it's late for you guys in New Zealand, Australia, probably about 9 p.m. or so. So do you have any questions? Please type in the chat. If you don't, I'm going to end this call, and I do this again at 7 p.m. South African time this evening. This is our last call of the week. There you go, Wayne. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, good on yourself. Good morning. There was a question from one of the ladies earlier on. Why is it that the bot is only able to be activated on a Tuesday? So it trades 6 days and one day it's not.
Oh, Kathy Governor. Yeah, okay, so very simple. So you get paid on the Monday. So remember, the arbitrage is using all that 41 million, now it's 60 million to trade, right? It's busy trading. Now you can't make payments from there while it's trading. So you got to stop the whole arbitrage, make payments to you guys, or whatever you're depending on your bot size, and then you recalibrate the bot. Once you recalibrate, all the funds go back into the arbitrage to start trading again. And whatever updates they need to do on the system at the time has to be done on a Tuesday. So that is why Tuesday is just an off day, does not trade, just for you to activate your bot. So your trading continues from Wednesday moving forward. Kathy, I
So
hope I
that's
answered that question for you.
right. So that's just in our XAB bot, XAB bot that stops. All the rest of the okay, perfect.
Yeah. So guys, for those of you who are new here, 15th of August, what you saw in XRP, we're doing in gold. Imagine now, imagine, do you have to explain somebody what's coin market cap, what is XRP back when you mention the word gold? Imagine how your business is going to explode with gold. It's called Vortex AI. We did the data testing on that in the last 10 years price of gold. 1 year now it's been beta testing, and the arbitrage is doing some good profits, and we launched it on the 15th of August. That is the exact same thing, and that's 105. $5 is the fee. $100 is the minimum, right? So please go save your funds right now for that. Or you can take your winnings or your returns from Xrp, and you can fund your Vortex. But remember, you got to have two, XRP and Vortex, right? Any other questions you guys have? Trevor, you wanted to say something?
Uh,
Mr. Luke, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, my brother. Shane, I sent a message in your private thing, chat. Just read it and just give me your thoughts on it, please. There's a reason why I didn't send it over the Zoom meeting, okay?
Okay, on my WhatsApp, you said, right? On my WhatsApp. Okay, I'll do that. As soon as I'm done, I'll respond to you.
No, Shane, it's in your Zoom. It's on the Zoom call. It's in the private side.
Private chat. Sorry, my bad. South African government has proceeded to draft framework that would bar local companies from moving crypto assets across borders in either direction. The draft crypto asset manual from the National Treasury. Yeah, I just went through this yesterday.
Oh, okay. Just give me your thoughts on it. That's all I needed to know.
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you what I pulled out. Guys, can I stop the? Okay, no, I won't stop the recording because it's important information for you to reflect on. Let me show you this very, very quickly. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. So what I'm doing here is not part of we're done with the presentation. For those of you who have to go, we understand you have to go. But for those of you to stick around, let me show you this.
So check this out. I think if it was up to the South African government, they'll probably ban crypto outright. I mean, if you look at the draft regulations that are actually coming out.
So I went through this here, and I've got the gist of what you say, but they are proposing it. Then again, remember how they proposed for Bitcoin all of these years? Then what happened to the price? What happened to people? People panicked, right? And they sold. This will not come true. It's there to panic the market because let's assume, Luke, that comes true. This is why we have our cars, baby. This is why when we get in now, right, we don't need to use the banking system anymore because we already converted our rands into XRP. Our XRP is generating XRP, our USD in our Vortex. We don't need to spend on this card. We don't really need the banking system anymore. You only need to take monies from your South African bank account or your local government account and put it into the system. You won't need to do that because I'll be here to assist. I'll say you, hey, I got some XRP. Who wants? If you deposit the cash into my account, I can fund your Zam account for you. Wayne, you can do the same
Shane,
thing.
can I just interrupt? Can I just interrupt? You're
Yeah,
actually
sure.
still living on YouTube. Didn't you want to cancel that?
No, it's fine because if you want to go back and have a look at this conversation, you'll understand.
Okay,
There's nothing
fine.
that, yeah. You see, that is why Web3, guys. Remember, I started off with Web3. When you're living in a Web3 world, everything revolves around Web3. For an example, when I was buying my property, the guy said to me, how would you pay? We need to go to the attorneys to get a bond. I said, no, I like to pay with Bitcoin. And he's like, do you have this amount of Bitcoin? And I opened my wallet and I showed him my Luno. I said, yeah, I do have it. Okay, I'll accept it. So I didn't go through the bank. You see what's going to happen is the demand for your cryptos will be so big because they're not be able to access it to the exchange. You become the exchange. And you can demand, and you can say, look, my risk here, for my 100 XRP, I want 5,000 for it. Yet the market says 2,000. Well, go get it from the market then. Oh, I can't do it because the government. Okay, then take it for 5,000. You need to be smart. You guys need to be smart with this here. Because what's happening now is the same thing what happened to gold. You remember, I'm not sure if you remember in the 1933 or something, before the crash, before the depression, the US government said, all those who have gold, you're not allowed to have gold. They said, you need to sell your gold directly to the government. Whatever gold you had to be given back to the government. And then what happened after that? They paid you for it. And then after that, the gold price went up. Same thing here. The same fear mongering. It's the exact same technique. Believe me, I've been researching this. We knew about this. This year is not going to be passed because what happens? You hold down the whole evolution of money and technology. Okay, let me explain something else to you guys. For those of you here, for those of you who have to leave, it's fine. This is not normally my call, but let me explain to you something, right? Answer in the chat. Can this world or this government stop AI? Can they stop it? Okay, the answer is no. For AI agents to work, they need access to your banking account. Now, what is an AI agent? Let me explain. I'm sitting on the beach in Thailand. I see somebody riding with a bike. I take out my phone or my glasses, Meta glasses. I click on it, I take a picture, and I tell, hey, chat, whatever you call it. I give my chat a different name. Can you buy this for me and have it shipped to my home in Durban, please? So what that chat will do, AI agents will take a picture of that bike of the riding, right? It will do a comparison on all the marketplace. It'll come back to me and tell me, hey, Shady, we found 5 places in South Africa that has this bike. These are the timeframes that they can deliver, and these are the prices. I said, okay, let's go with that bike at that price. Okay, no problem. Now that AI needs to access my bank account to make payments for delivery and to purchase that bike. So it'll send me another message to say, please, can you authorize this payment for the bike? I use my thumbprint, I authorize the payment. The AI will make the payment to the dealership. The AI will arrange the delivery. The AI will make sure that the bike is at home. Before I leave, before I go back home, the bike is there. So that is called AI agents. AI agents are now taking over the world. You don't need to have a different agent saying different things. For example, I've got TikTok, I've got WhatsApp, I've got Facebook. Everybody's reaching out to me and saying, Shane, I need to know more about this. But on my TikTok alone, if I go here, okay, let's do this. Sorry, Miriam, I need to mute you. Please mute your mic. Thank you, because it's kind of distracting. If I go to my WhatsApp now, right, I've got 999 plus messages to be read. So some of you say, you didn't reply to me. There's 1,000 messages for me to be read. So how do I do this? So that is why I went to, when I was in Malaysia, Denise was in Malaysia. Denise saw me having conversations with the owners of the company. At that point, they called me out one side. I told them, look, I need a Shane D AI to answer all those messages. So it'll scan those messages. It'll respond like me. It learns to text like me, learn to speak like me. It can do a Zoom call and present to you like me. And if you ask it a question, it'll answer a question based on something called machine learning. Did you hear Dr. Jack use the word machine learning when he presented this? He said, with our machine learning in arbitrage, because that's what AI does. It does machine learning. It learns from errors. It's something called guardrails. Okay, I don't want to get into technical jargon, but that's the way. Now, sorry, I digress. Now, in order for the banking system to be part of the AI world, how can they create something like this here? This won't work. This is there to create fear in the market. Just like, remember, Luke, they said Bitcoin, they are going to ban us, they're going to sue us or whatever. They didn't end up doing anything. They ended up embracing it. So that's to answer your question on that, Luke. But we'll do a technical analysis on trading on that day. Guys, it's 11:22 on my side. Any other questions? Sorry, I didn't check the chat. Let me see. Any other questions? Correct, Leanne. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Unfortunately, presentation overview is a shame. I need to go. You most welcome, Gail. AI is correct, Denise. AI. Guys, thank you so much for making time on this call. God bless and good night or good morning, whichever part.